BFTB, Best Fight the Best Boxing. All right, I'm gonna talk to you guys today about fear in boxing. You know, fear in boxing. So I remember when Kelly Pavlik, actually we can go back, I remember when Tommy Morrison was the heavyweight champion, how they were saying fighters were scared of him, you know, fighters feared him. You know, then, you know, you go, then after that, now in the new age type era, you know, it's Lomachenko. Fighters fear Lomachenko. They fear him. You know what I'm saying? Tank Davis fears Lomachenko. They're scared of him. They don't want to fight Lomachenko. You know, then you got Golovkin. You know, the middleweights feared Golovkin. None of them. Billy Ho. Well, I could call him that. Oh, fuck him. And then, you know, you had that character. You got fucking Danny Jacobs, they were saying, was scared of him. You know, all these fighters, Eubanks, all these fighters were so-called scared of Golovkin. They were scared of him. You know, when he was coming through the ranks, they were scared of him. Cotto, Canelo, they were all scared of him. They wouldn't fight him, you know. He was calling them out in the media, you know, saying, just give me my belts, you know, just calling them out, you know, trying to get a fight with them any way he could. They didn't want no parts of him. Same thing with Lomachenko, trying to get fights with Tank. Tank didn't want no parts of him. You know, I don't know if that was really Tank that didn't want no parts of him, or if that was Floyd, like, trying to guide his career, and Tank really wanted to see him. I don't know that full scoop. All I know is the fight didn't happen. You know, then you had Kelly Pavlik. People were saying people were scared of Kelly Pavlik. They were scared to fight Kelly Pavlik. You know, then you have Kovalev. You know, he's the Crusher. People are scared of the Crusher. You know, they're scared of him. They don't want to fight the Crusher. You know, he's calling people out. You know, Donna Stevenson don't want no parts of him. Donna Stevenson is scared of Kovalev. Blah blah blah. You know, they coming on my channel constantly. I was constantly hearing about how Andre Ward was scared of Kovalev. He's scared. He's going to pull out. He's going to retire before they fight. All these things they were saying. You know, mind you, these are guys that wanted to fight the best. Kovalev, he wanted to fight the best. And they were calling Adonis Stevenson chicken. You know, Lomachenko wants to fight the best. They're calling Tank chicken. Tommy Morrison wanted to fight the best. Pavlik, they wanted to fight the best, you know. They're calling all these guys chicken. They're saying they don't. Golovkin, none of these guys wanted to fight him. Just give me my belts. Blah, blah, blah. None of them, you know, nobody wanted to fight this man. But now when we say Deontay Wilder is trying to fight these guys, it is Deontay Wilder is not known. Deontay Wilder doesn't sell out crowds. Deontay Wilder, you know, doesn't make enough money. You know, he don't make enough money in his fights. As if the amount of money that he made himself personally would affect what somebody else was making, although he was trying to fight them. You know, he never said, when he called out, you know, Tyson Fury decided to fight Christian Hammer instead, he never said, hey, and I'm going to make the most. He never said that. He only brought up financial splits, purse splits, and blah, blah, blah with this Anthony Joshua nonsense. He never said that. His original thing was, I want to fight the best. That's who I want to fight. I want to unify all the belts. You know, and instead of people saying, yeah, these guys are scared. Vladimir Klitschko, why are you not trying to fight Deontay Wilder? Why are you not trying to fight him? The WBC title was the only belt that you've never had. Vladimir Klitschko, you and Stavern offered Deontay Wilder step-aside money. Y'all negotiated for undisputed. You offered Wilder step-aside money to fight for the WBC title. What happened after Wilder won the belt. Where did the negotiations go? Vladimir Klitschko told this man to fight somebody else. He said, the fans want to see him fight somebody. Well, why not you? Why not you? You know, why weren't you eagerly and aggressively seeking out a fight with Deontay Wilder how you were seeking it out with Bermane Stiverne? Because this is a fact. This is a fact that you were trying to fight Bermane Stiverne. Y'all offered Deontay Wilder step-aside money in order for Undisputed to happen. Deontay Wilder turned it down because he wanted his title shot. He beat Bermane Stiverne, and instead of you aggressively seeking Undisputed with Deontay Wilder, you went out and said, forget it, he needs to fight somebody, and then went and fought Bryant Jennings. These are facts. This is not my opinion. You know, I'm not just winging this. These are 100% facts. And then after Bryant Jennings, you got schooled by Tyson Fury. Well, on the Tyson Fury, okay? Deontay Wilder was ranked in like the teens or something like that when he called out Tyson Fury for a fight. Tyson Fury had his options. You know, this was a voluntary defense. He wasn't the champion. He could have fought anybody in any rank, at any ranking. He was already the WBA mandatory champion. Mandatory challenger. He was already WBA mandatory. So, fighting Wilder wouldn't have done anything. I mean, he didn't have to fight Wilder, and he didn't have to fight Christian Hammer. He could have just sat on his hands and then waited for his WBA mandatory title shot with Vladimir Klitschko. He didn't have to fight Christian Hammer, but he did. He did fight Christian Hammer. He had his option. Christian Hammer or Deontay Wilder. He picked Christian Hammer. These are facts. These are facts. These are 100% facts. I'm not winging this, making this up. This can be looked up, researched. There's articles about it. About Tyson Fury saying, you know, yeah, I'm grateful that, you know, Deontay Wilder wants to fight me. That shows that I'm a true champion, or I'm a true fighter, blah, 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 and all this other nonsense. But I'm going to fight Christian Hammer instead. I'm going to fight Christian Hammer. And Christian Hammer saying Tyson Fury made a mistake by fighting me. He should have fought Deontay Wilder. And then we know the story. We know the history, you know. Tyson Fury beat the shit out of Christian Hammer. But that Tyson Fury-Deontay Wilder fight could have happened then. You know, what happened with Deontay Wilder calling out Bryant Jennings? You know, Bryant Jennings said, who is Deontay Wilder? You know what I'm saying? The risk wasn't worth the reward. Deontay Wilder didn't have no big promotion at that time. Wasn't nobody pressing him as the next big thing like they do with Anthony Joshua. They could have, but they didn't. So he had to do it the hard way. You know what I'm saying? He had to do it the hard way. Fighting anybody and everybody who would fight him. He never turned anybody down. You know, Bryant Jennings turned him down. Said the risk isn't worth the reward. Turned him down. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, in all honesty. Why would Bryant Jennings fight Deontay Wilder? What is Deontay Wilder supposed to provide to Bryant Jennings at that time? Nothing. He wasn't the champion. You know what I'm saying? He was an up-and-coming prospect that was knocking everybody out. Why the fuck would a guy who's in line, you know what I'm saying, ranked and in line to fight a champion, risk that by fighting Deontay Wilder? So, Bryant Jennings turned Deontay Wilder down, and Deontay Wilder ended up, you know, fighting somebody else. But that wasn't Deontay Wilder's fault. That wasn't his fault that Fury turned him down. It wasn't his fault that Jennings turned him down. It wasn't his fault that Vladimir Klitschko turned him down. You know, the fear that these guys have for Deontay Wilder is like pathetic, man. And what y'all don't realize is y'all are only making shit worse for themselves. These fighters, they don't realize that. Like, Deontay Wilder has enough confidence already. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're running from him, what do you think that's doing for him? It's making his confidence even greater. You know what I'm saying? If he's looking around and these guys don't want to fight him, that's not going to make him less confident. He's going to be like, man, I'm calling these sucker dudes out and these dudes don't want to fight me. And I'm knocking these people out that are fighting me. I see why they don't want to fight me. Shit, I wouldn't want to fight me neither. And I remember him saying that. So they're just making it worse for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's all they're doing, because these fights are going to eventually have to happen. You know, we saying fear, right? We saying fear. The fear of Golovkin, Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez not fighting him. Canelo not fighting him. Cotto not fighting him, you know, back before Canelo eventually did fight him. You know, they weren't blaming that on Golovkin. They weren't blaming that on Golovkin. They were blaming that on Canelo and Cotto and Sergio. And rightfully so. But when Povetkin postpones his fight, you know, twice, because he could have been fought Deontay Wilder. He could have been fought him. He postponed his fight twice. He did not have to fight Mariusz Wach. Povetkin chose to fight Mariusz Wach. He did not have to fight him. He could have fought his mandatory. He could have used his mandatory option and fought Deontay Wilder then. But the problem was Povetkin wasn't going to get the fight in Russia where he wanted it. So he postponed it. And then got a quote-unquote cut, which was straight BS, that mysteriously was going to take 6 months to heal. So he couldn't fight in January and had to postpone his fight again. You know what I'm saying? Like, neither one of those are Deontay Wilder's fault. Neither one of those postponements are his fault. He did not postpone his fight. What he did is he took fill-ins on short notice, people that have been preparing for him, you know what I'm saying, or preparing for their title shot. They're in the WBC rankings, so they knew they were preparing for the champion, and at that time the champion was Deontay Wilder, so they're preparing for this man. He's not preparing for them. He's not sparring for them. He's preparing, and he's sparring for Povetkin. That's who he's preparing for. That's who he's sparring for. That's who he's getting sparring partners in there to resemble his fighting style. But then Povetkin postpones, and now he's got to give fighters on short notice. Duhaupas, Molina, these short notice opponents. Motherfucking Washington. All these short notice opponents is who he's got to get because Povetkin postpones his fights. That was Povetkin postponing that. But did the world criticize Povetkin like they were criticizing Canelo and Sergio and Cotto for ducking and being fearful of Golovkin? No, they criticize Wilder. Like Wilder could just say, to hell with you postponing, we're fighting now anyway. I don't care about your postponing. I don't care about that. We're going to fight anyway. Like, Wilder had no say in fucking Povetkin postponing his fights. He had no say in that. So then he was en route to Russia. He was training in the UK. He was going to fight. The champion was going to go to the challenger's hometown and fight him in his hometown. But Povetkin popped dirty. Twice. Do they blame Povetkin for popping dirty? No. You can't make this shit up. They are blaming Wilder. They're saying Wilder should have fought him anyway. What? Wilder should have fought him anyway. So let's clear it up, right? Sergio Martinez, Cotto, Canelo, Eubanks, Jacobs, Billy Joe. They all scared of Golovkin because they did not fight Golovkin. They're all scared of him. Tank Davis is scared of Lomachenko because he did not fight him. You know, Adonis Stevenson and Kovalev. Adonis Stevenson and these fucking weirdos. Adonis Stevenson and all these other fighters, Adonis Stevenson's scared of and Ward. Adonis Stevenson and Ward are scared of Kovalev, you know, because they didn't fight him. Scared of him because they didn't fight him, you know, when he was calling them out. But yet, mysteriously, the shoes are reversed, and Wilder is scared. Wilder is fearful of these fighters, even though he's the one calling them out. And now the excuses change from fear to Wilder doesn't sell. Wilder doesn't make enough money. Wilder, you know, doesn't have the boxing fundamentals. You know, all these excuses. All these excuses. Well, how come y'all didn't have these excuses for Canelo and Golovkin? Because Canelo was clearly the A side. You know, Canelo was shit. He fought Floyd. Canelo was in one of the biggest fights in boxing history. You know what I'm saying? Where was it then? Where was Canelo not being a draw? Where was that excuse to fight Golovkin? Where was that at? There was no pressure on Golovkin to not being a draw. The pressure was on Canelo to fight Golovkin. And it ran rampant in mainstream media and on videos all over the place. I was seeing this. But yet, it's funny how the very same stuff, the very same type of fighting that's going on right now, it's a difference now. You know, it's different when it's Deontay Wilder pressing for these fights. It's different then. And I want to know why. Like, I can say it's race. I mean, that's clear and obvious. But you know what? I like to hear the other excuses that everybody gives. Oh, no, that was different because, well, you're a racist. That's what it goes to. Because they have no real logical reason why it's different. So they just resort straight to me being a racist because I called it for what it was. Because they have no reason, no logical reason, no realistic reason on why they were rightfully so jumping on Canelo, jumping on Sergio, jumping on Jacobs, jumping on Eubanks, jumping on Cotto, you know, rightfully so. They have no logical reason on why they rightfully jumped on the guys that were avoiding the fight when it came to Lomachenko with Tank Davis and Golovkin and Kovalev. You know, rightfully so. But they have no reason on why they are now not jumping on the fighters avoiding Deontay Wilder. You know, now it's anybody that says that doesn't know the business of boxing. Well, where was the business of boxing with Canelo and Golovkin? Where was the business of boxing with Tank and Loma? Because Loma ain't no motherfucking sell over Tank Davis. Loma is not shit over Tank Davis. Nothing. So where was this then? Where's that at? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, and the crazy part is y'all can't just call it for what it is. If y'all just said, look, I don't fucking like him. I don't like this dude. Plain and simple. I don't like Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? And I don't support this motherfucker. And whatever he does, I'm shitting on him. I don't like Wilder. Whatever he does, I'm shitting on him. You know what? I can respect that more than you guys trying to make a somewhat valid excuse when you couldn't make those same excuses when the exact same thing happened for a fighter that wasn't black, or a light-skinned fighter, in this case with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? It's pathetic, man. And the channels that these people are making is just like blatant and obvious. Like, dude, like, Y'all are quick to jump and say, oh, Anthony Joshua's fighting another undefeated fighter, but this undefeated fighter that he's about to fight, that they're calling for, wasn't calling him out. Hasn't been calling him out. Hasn't been pressing him. Jarrell, the toddler, hasn't been pressing for him. And neither was Parker. Parker wasn't pressing for him either. Parker blatantly said after the Kajono fight that he needs a couple more tune-ups. He wants to fight a couple more bums before he fights Wilder or Anthony Joshua. Not the Kajono fight, I mean the Fury fight. But his very next fight is Anthony Joshua. Like, come on, man. Like, these are facts. Whatever, man. Yo, whatever, man. Y'all can keep making the excuses fit when you want them to, instead of making the circumstance flat across the board for everybody. Y'all can't do that. You make it fit when you want to, and then when you don't want it to fit, you make it something else. Or you bring up the race card. But whatever, man. Whatever, man. Y'all clowns expose yourself constantly. Best fight the best, man. BFT Boxing, man. I'm out.